Welcome to the Ex Good Girl podcast, the place where people pleasers, perfectionists, and overgivers come to unlearn the good girl rules that you thought were making you good, but now you can see are actually just keeping you small. If you've spent your life being unable to say no, putting everyone else's needs and feelings above your own, constantly seeking external approval, or avoiding conflict to make others feel comfortable, if guilt and resentment feel like a constant weight in your life, it is time to learn to knock that shit off. Every episode, we dive into the stories, skills, and strategies that you need to stop shrinking, start speaking up, and to live a life that is authentically and unapologetically yours, while also deepening the connection and vulnerability in the relationships that matter to you. I'm glad you're here. Let's jump in. Episode number 5 of the mini podcast series, Find Your Outside Voice. All right, you've been listening to this series. You know that it comes down to your yes and your no, and you've given yourself permission to say it messy. You're ready. And then something happens. Something always happens. But I want to talk to you about this thing that is so normal that happens when we try and speak up, because it shows up for every woman that I work with. And I want you to be ready, because most of the time we misinterpret when this obstacle shows up. So what are the obstacles? The first one is this. What if they don't like my yes or my no? Very normal. Humans need to be in groups. And what if I say something and they don't like it and I get kicked out? This is the fear that shows up before you say anything. You worry about them being disappointed or frustrated or pulling back. And sometimes this obstacle is enough to stop us before we even start. Imagining their reaction, we decide that the whole thing just isn't worth the risk. And here's what I want you to hear about this one. Are you ready? You are managing other people's reactions before you've even said it. You're putting in an enormous amount of emotional labor for a conversation that hasn't even happened yet. And you're protecting people from reactions they haven't even had yet. That's exhausting. That's why you're exhausted. And it's not your job. Their reaction to your yes or no is about them. It is information about them, their stories, their limitations. And it is not evidence that your yes or your no was wrong. The second obstacle is a little sneakier. It shows up after you say it. We have the conversation, we say yes or we say no, and then we get clearer or we get more information and we realize we wish we had chosen differently. And we immediately start telling ourselves that we did the wrong thing. We made the wrong call. You start second guessing, you start criticizing and judging, and you wonder, do I even know what I want? Because it feels like failure. But here's what I want you to hear. This is not failure. This is what it feels like to be a woman who is learning to trust herself when all of the programming that we've been given about saying what we want tells us not to. The discomfort of someone else's reaction is not proof that you were wrong. And you realizing that you wish you'd said something differently is not proof that you were wrong or that you did it wrong. It is just information. Information that you could not have gotten without saying something. I want to tell you about a client. Let's call her Rachel. Rachel wanted to talk with her husband about how labor was divided up in the home. She felt like for too long, she had been doing too much. She wanted to have the conversation. So she said it clearly and as kindly and honestly as she could. And on his face, she could see his reaction. He got quiet and she was a little scared. So of course, immediately she starts thinking, I shouldn't have said it. I made it worse. I should have just kept handling it. It's not worth it. He's going to be mad. So obstacle 2, hitting full force. But here's what happened next. He took some time and came back to her and said, this is a conversation I do want to have with you. Yes, I'm feeling a little attacked and like I should be doing more, like you're mad at me, but it's a conversation that I think is worth having. And so the conversation that followed changed how the labor was handled in their home. Rachel didn't do it perfectly. She second-guessed herself all the way through, and it still worked because she said the true thing. I want to talk to you about how the labor is divided up in our house. Now, both of these obstacles, knowing what to do when they hit full force, knowing how to handle your body when it's flooded, knowing how to take care of yourself, that is deeper work. And that is what I teach inside Connected. I teach you how to find exactly the right words, how to develop the capacity for real inner sturdiness when you say them, and how to handle everything that comes after you have the conversation. But today, I just wanted to name those two obstacles so you recognize them. And so you can know that it doesn't mean you have failed. It is just information. And information can help you decide next steps. One more episode to go in this series. It's the best one. I'll see you there. Don't forget, say what you need to say. Free workshop coming up. You've got lots of different options to choose from. The link is in the show notes. It's absolutely free. Be there. Hey, thanks for listening. If this podcast has been helpful to you, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a 5-star rating in whatever platform you listen to your podcasts. And if you go to my website, sarafisk.coach, you can sign up there to receive my emails. Right now, I'm taking private one-to-one clients who want my help speeding up this work in their own lives. I really hope to provide a lot of free information on my website and in my podcast for people to do this work on their own. But if you're interested in having a coach like me to help you implement these things faster, to find the blind spots and obstacles that you're not aware of, go to my website and sign up for a consult. That's a time when you and I can get on Zoom and talk about the particulars of your situation, and I can show you how I could be helpful. The second thing you can do on my website is sign up for a freebie that I have called Difficult Conversations. Having a conversation that seems like it's going to be hard or difficult is one of the things that people pleasers struggle with. And so I've created a whole guide for you to be able to do that with some more confidence. That will also get you signed up for information about my group program, Stop People Pleasing. It's a group coaching program where you join a community of women just like you who are struggling to overcome perfectionating and people pleasing, and we do it together in a group. It's a really amazing opportunity to not just learn from your own experience, but just to see how similar you are to so many other women out there. The healing and the challenging and the laughing and the growth that happens in that beautiful community of women is really amazing. And if it's interesting to you, I would love for you to know about it.